Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it is lovely to see you today. In this video we're going to be doing a little review of Sigil Witchery, so grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. So before we begin, I do need to say that this video is not sponsored. The people who make this book and the author have no idea I exist. I bought this for my own money, and saying that, I always buy my books myself. And so if you would like to support the running of this channel, I do have a Ko-fi. It is linked down below and you can leave me a one-off payment, or you can leave me a little bit each month. That would help with running this channel when I can speak. So if you want to check that out, no obligation at all, but the link's down below. Before we get to the actual video though, don't forget, if you're new here, you can click the subscribe button to become part of the butterfly family. We would absolutely love to have you here, so don't forget to click that button, leave me a cheeky like and a comment. But let's get to it, shall we? So this month, or should I say several months, I do have a video where I talked about everything that's been going on with me in reading and why I haven't had reviews on the channel for a little bit. So I'll leave a link to that down below. But this month we've been reading Sigil Witchery, and this is by Tempest Zakroff, A Witch's Guide to Crafting Magical Symbols. So basically this book is about this artist's version of doing sigils. Now there is traditional ways of doing sigils. One is like using the witch's alphabet, and another way is by just taking out the vowels and things and then using the shapes of the letters to create a sigil. If I can find information about those, I'll leave them down below, or if you'd like me to do videos about those different methods, I can do that as well. But this book really appealed to me because those ways of making sigils kind of always felt a bit constrictive to me, and I never really enjoyed making sigils using those methods. And so when I found this book, I was like, oh, this is a different way of doing sigils, and I was really interested in it. So I'm really glad that I picked this book up. Let's talk a little bit more about it. So this author has their own way of creating sigils, their own way that they've developed, and I really like it. Basically what you do is you come up with a sentence or a thing that you want to make a sigil about, and then you create the symbol using things that represent that. So there's a section in the book where it gives you a word and you basically draw in it. I'm not going to show you close-ups because I can't draw very well, but it basically has what you think of or something that could represent that word. So for decrease, I had an arrow pointing like that with the arrowhead at the bottom, and then emerge, I had a letter with like an arrow coming out of it. But it could be completely different to you, and then you would use these different symbols and put them together to create a symbol. That will be your sigil. Things like this can be created, which is a lot more in-depth and a lot more open to interpretation than the traditional versions that I found quite constrictive and quite difficult to use my imagination so much with. I also loved in this book that they went through the history of different shapes and sigils being used, for example in hieroglyphs and on cave paintings and things like that. We have found symbols, scratchings to represent different things, and they can be seen as sigils themselves. And I love that. It really brought me back to my ancestors, brought me back to the people who went before us, how they communicated with one another and how they communicated the things that they wanted to make happen. And I loved that little flashback to the people who came before us. History is so important to us. We need to learn from history continuously. We have to find ways to incorporate history into the now and to learn from it all the time. This book made me really excited to create sigils again, finding different symbols to mean different things as well, different ways of utilizing sigils. For example, giving it as bird food and things like that, as well as paintings. And it really opened my mind to the scope of sigils. Really, there's no boundary really. You can use them for anything. You can use them all over your body. You can paint them on yourself. You can paint them on the wall. You can draw them. You can chalk them. You can tattoo them. You can do whatever you want. They're almost limitless. And that's what I love about it. And yeah, I'd found the other ways of doing it didn't really catch my imagination. This really did. Their way of doing sigils really caught my eye and made me really think, I really want to do sigil work again. I really want to get into this. I really want to try it. I love the size and the shape of the book as well. It's a good size. It's something that's going to stick out on your bookcase. It's not the usual book shape, and I love that, but it's not too thick either, so you can kind of dip in and out of it as you need to, which I really, really enjoyed. What was that? Is he talking to? Is that the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, just the dog's in here, so I'm sorry if you hear any growling or anything like that. He wants his dad to play. So, and the last thing that I really, really enjoyed about this book is that it's brilliant for artists. Anybody who loves art or spends a lot of their time doing art, this way of producing sigils is very creative and very free-flowing. There's a lot of ways you could incorporate these into your art and really let your mind just go crazy, which I found so inspiring. My husband's an artist, and so I'm always looking for ways to get him into magic and magical uses. So I'm going to definitely be passing on this book to him to read. I'm hoping he will grab it and play and read it. He wants to play, doesn't he? Yeah. Little monkey. So yeah, overall, I just really enjoyed this book. It got me excited for sigils. It got me excited to talk about and really excited to read again. Like I talked about in that recent video, I've been struggling with reading recently, so this has just really ignited my fire once again. So the next book we're going to be reading is The Witch's Path, Advancing Your Craft to Every Level by Thorn Mooney. That's what I'll be reviewing at the end of next month. So if you want to read along with me, I will leave links to that book and this book down in the description, so you can find both. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Dexter, what you doing, little man? So yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I'm looking forward to reading the next book, which is about leveling up your magical practice and using it in your everyday, which really excites me. I've found my witchcraft practice has been a bit stagnant lately, and we all go through that in our witchcraft practice. We go through times where we're really excited to get in front of our altar, and other times where we're a bit like, this again. But I think it's nice when we can pick up a book and learn a new skill. Like, I'm excited to try making new sigils, maybe for my deities and things like that. So it's really excited me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to let me know by leaving a cheeky little like down below, so I know you enjoyed it, and so do YouTube. Another way of helping my video to get seen more is to leave me a comment. So let me know if you've read either of these books before, or you're planning to, or if you're just looking forward to hearing my review. And did you miss my reviews? Did you miss this here on the channel? Because I've really missed just sitting down with you and reviewing a good book. So let me know all the things down below. And last but certainly not least, if you like my content and you like my face, don't forget to hit that little subscribe button and ring that little bell, so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays, my health permitting. I always do my very best to be here with you every week, twice a week. Have a really, really wonderful week, everyone. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.